into this series.
Yeah, I think the Sombra is definitely going to be making a return here for the side of Mue, especially, I mean, MVP performance from him, getting, play of the game and whatnot, so really stellar stuff from him. Can expect that pick as we move further into the series, perhaps when they flip over to the defensive side. For now, it will be Romania starting things off here on the defense, Hong Kong on the attack on Kings Row as we get things underway.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to be seeing that Sonic arrow come out. We'll be moving to the Genji on attack here with their 2-2-2 composition. Romania going to be having the solid defense here, the standard defense with Imka on the Soldier.
Well, already Meza finding a first pick here as Mango goes down, but Mue able to answer that one as Imka will be cut down by this Genji. See, right now, Hong Kong just wrapping around that right side, but getting kind of caught up in that choke point. Will lose a couple members, and that could put a bit of a halt here onto this push to jump down onto the point. We're going to go ahead and see Rank knocked out of that D.Va mech, but has not died yet. For now, just a bit of exchanging coming back and forth. Romania kiting back around through the archway to get themselves gathered up. But for now, the first tick has gone over to the side of Hong Kong. Hyper going down, however, could be a big threat. As we see that the re-engage is going to come through. Winston leaping forward. MK coming up the kill as Mix goes down. Jazzy falling as well. They will pop Rank out of that mech, but we'll keep this in contention for the moment. 2 ticks picked up for Hong Kong on that first little poke forward. MK way out in no man's land will get taken down, but Hong Kong already in less than about 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Just need that extra 33% to get this completed, and it's still going up. No one from Romania staying on the point at the moment. Mango trying to spin away, trying to get inside, can't do so. Meza stuck to him on his tail, zaps him to death. Now Mue dropping back in as it's just all hell breaking loose here on the point. Transcendence is used from the side of ML7. Romania just trying to stay into this one now. Jazzy just getting his popped up, will push forward. Dragon Blade drawn out by Mue, looking for a prime target, dashes in, trying to get the supports, but everybody is just scattering away from this Genji. Will cut down Sima at the end with the Dragon Blade, but the rest of his team is falling down around him as Hyper and Jazzy will both fall. Mango having to hightail it out of here. Everybody pursuing forward, trying to kill this Soldier. They'll be able to kite back around the corner, and that self-destruct is thrown out by Rank. Just trying to zone everybody off the point. The near cap there for Hong Kong, but they cannot complete it.
Yeah, I have to give real credit to Romania for being so patient there, willing to give up the 2 ticks, but saving their ultimates, not diving in until everyone had regrouped, and that's how they're able to buy so much time. And was one of our longest fights here on Kings Row's first point.
A couple openings here as we see Hyper going down. Kukabao able to get that with a grenade coming through, locks him down, and Pandarin's also going to fall, so some key picks coming through for Romania. They're trying to maintain this push. Self-destruct thrown out, trying to zone them back. They do wrap around the corner, and Rank not able to get back into that mech. Will go down in the Baby D.Va form as Hong Kong tries to push back in, but Romania has that sound barrier to answer to try to stave them off. Bubble coming through. They're going to go ahead and throw the Transcendence in straight away afterward as Mue has that Dragon Blade drawn out. Can't cut through anybody. The healing just too much from that Zenyatta. Won't gain anything for it, and Hong Kong, for now, are still being saved up. Just 0.2% away from getting that cap, and they will be held back.
They just push back again, and Romania with such good staggering of the ultimates for the defense here, and survivability is the name of the game for them. Now they've got this tack visor, and they're just trying to burn this time down.
And it's working rather well as Jazzy's going to be the first one to fall. Almost had that Transcendence available as well for Hong Kong, which is going to be so crucial for them to try to get back in onto the point. So beautiful tack visor coming through there from MK. Just identifying when he could use that, when he could maximize, and getting Jazzy, albeit just the 1 kill, is still a very valuable one. We'll be respawning, we'll be coming back in, but this is still cutting down that time bank from the side of Hong Kong. 50 seconds remaining as they do push in onto the point. Kukubao and ML7 have both fallen. Now MK answering in onto Jazzy, so a bit of a trade back, but it's just spilling over into favor of Hong Kong. They will get the near team kill. MK the only one really limping away from the fight. They finally get that cap, but with significantly less time than you might have expected from that first push.
Yeah, especially considering they almost got it. They were at 99.8%, but Romania, when they were losing fights, especially in the first point where Hong Kong got double ticks, they were willing to back off and risk potentially losing that first point early to actually have these support ultimates to come in and delay. So they were basically just saying, okay, we're going to back off for a second, regroup, instead of risking losing members and losing this for sure. And as a result, they bought a really large amount of time there. And Hong Kong always on the cusp, but now only 2.5 minutes left on this streets phase.
You have to make it all the way through, but already so far things are going better for Hong Kong than they did against Norway, able to get that first cap through, but now need to push it all the way over to B to get that extra bit of time in the bank. Mue going forward, has the pulse pump ready to go, but sees a primal rage coming through, so doesn't want to toss it out quite yet. Will just be holding on to that, perhaps for a future fight. MK with attack visor is able to get rid of that pesky tracer, but now has to run for the hills, make it back over to that health pack. Throws on the battlefield to keep himself alive. In the meantime, on the backside of the fight, Mango dueling out with Meza will come up with a kill. That exchange with the help of Jazzy.
And Mango just had the much better attack visor there than we saw coming out from MK. Unfortunately, he was just completely shut down. And again, Hong Kong very ult efficient with how they're doing this, so they maintain an ultimate lead. They're going to have that self-destruct in just a moment here. Romania may look to contest this checkpoint, but it's a risky one if they're going to go for it, and they will, in fact. Transcendence not used on top of the sound barrier, though, so staggering those support ultimates. Here comes that self-destruct.
Yeah, waiting for that one at the moment. Self-destruct comes through, not going to be finding anything yet, but both Transcendences will be used simultaneously as Mango just desperately tries to fire away. Now has ML7 all by himself, will take him down with the help of Pandarin, and the payload is just in front of point B, a couple more meters to go, and they will have that cap. The picks are still coming through for the side of Hong Kong. Kukubao will go down, leap up into the air here for the Winston, onto the high ground as Meza tries to stay alive, wants to avoid getting shot, has that Discord orb on him. Will be able to evade for the time being, but the rest of his squad, without the protection here from the Big Ape, will fall, and he's going to go down as well as he tries to leap back in. That's just going to be the cap.
And Pandarin is getting so many kills himself. He's clearly showing his accuracy, building up the sound barriers so quickly, and really talk about Lucio as being the one who's being the main killer, and it really isn't him, but he's adding so much extra DPS to this, and Meza, unfortunately, is just never really able to shut down Mango, so he's getting these extra kills, tac visor or no. When he does drop down the tac visors, which he has more often than MK, they're just being more impactful because there just isn't that block. There's Rank No Moja not getting close enough, and Meza's just not willing to dive in. Well, the discords are coming out from Jazzy. They've just been really good, burning him down, so he doesn't want to go in to actually contest.
Here's that attack visor being popped here from the side of Mango. Everybody is kiting back behind Rank, who has that defense matrix up to try to block, but MK's still going to pulse. Boué goes in the back line. Now the sound barrier out here from the side of Hong Kong, trying to stay into the fight. The pulse bomb comes through, but Kukubao is just going to die in the end. The recall positioning, not the best. He gets blown up, goes down, as does Meza. Discord Orb doing so much work to cut down that Winston, even through the Primal Rage.
And he used that now. He doesn't have it anymore. They're going to have the support ultimates here, but with what? Rank No Moja is going to have that self-destruct eventually if they can use his portal ults to buy time, but that's it. Yeah, that's all they've got.
Not a whole lot to couple this one with. The Transcendence will come through from Jazzy, trying to stay in onto this payload. A couple more meters to go to get this completion. Moué trying to duke it out here with MK, takes some low, but gets forced out on the recall, so has to back off the fight. In the meantime, that's going to be some of these supports being traded out. Penderin and ML7 both going down for the sound barriers there. Kasima stayed alive. Self-destruct thrown in. Will find Mix in the Baby D form. Couldn't make it back in time. His self-destruct won't find anything, and it seems like Hong Kong have finally been saved off. They have to kite back and regroup.
That was really well done, and now Meza's actually going to have that Primal Rage available again. But I feel like the protection for Meza and MK, the synergy just isn't there right now, and that's something they could definitely improve to hold down this next push. A minute left on the clock, and Mango, can they shut him down? He's been doing so much with these tac visors. He's going to be the big damage dealer in this because Mix did use that self-destruct earlier. Not going to be an engagement tool. He's going to go ahead and dive up here with Hyper to look for the engage, and that's when Mango's going to find that damage. So protecting the DPS of MK here is going to be absolutely critical. They haven't been able to do it consistently so far. They need to focus here.
Yeah, Moué's been doing a very good job of getting into the back line and disrupting MK. Preventing him from damaging the rest of the team. Attack visor coming out here from the side of Mango, pushing forward. Looking for a couple targets as this D.Va straight up into his face. They will get that pop on the mech. Helix Rocket's not going to connect, but he has a biotic field as MK tries to kite back, but he will just get cut down. Mango coming up with the kills, and they're spilling over in favor of Hong Kong. Time and time again, the double kill coming through with the Helix Rockets takes them down. Sound barrier for good measure as they try to ride this one all the way home. Pulse bomb takes out ML7, and that is going to be it. Hong Kong are able to get that finish on point C with 0.9 seconds remaining.
And you just have to feel like when you compare Mango to MK, the impact has been higher on the soldier. He has the protection of his tanks, protecting him with the D.Va, the defense matrix, the Winston bubbles, and the target selection has been better here for Hong Kong overall. In some ways we're seeing the dive-ins coming from Meza. When he's all alone, he gets picked. The Discord orb usage here from Jazzy has been really good. So you can understand why Meza sometimes isn't going in with the Winston because he's being focused down. It just feels like the communication for Romania is on a weaker level right now than Hong Kong. And yesterday we had ML7 saying, he had throat problems. He couldn't make the shot calling as well as he would have liked to. Perhaps we're seeing a little bit of continuation of that today. But either way, we are seeing Hong Kong really step it up and carry that momentum from yesterday.
A great start here for Hong Kong as they do complete that assault, but now it's time for Romania to give it their best shot. Try to go all the way to point C with some time in the bank because Hong Kong barely were able to clock any for themselves.
And that's a lot due to Romania's passive nature there on defending the first point. We go back to how that worked out. They gave up 2 ticks early, but everybody survived. They built up enough charge healing everybody. It was really the Zenyatta play coming out that allowed them to heal everybody with those Harmony Orbs to get the Transcendence, which started that very long team fight that lasted, what, 2.5 minutes there that they eventually did lose, but burned so much time. And Hong Kong could have had such a larger time bank if they had taken that first cap like they planned to. They were very close.
It's a very good hold, but we'll see how Hong Kong fares. Again, we're the recipients of a full hole at the hands of Norway just yesterday, so maybe they picked up a few tips and tricks to try to pull that off here for themselves. For now, we'll just be operating with that double DPS yet again. Mango on the Soldier and Mue starting things off on the Genji. Not going to be seeing him over onto that Tracer.
Yeah, Ring No Mojo bringing the Genji out again. Had a few highlight clips of him getting shut down yesterday by the Chinese team, but might be a different story here against Hong Kong. And I like this pick actually over the Soldiers so far when you compare how much Mango's been able to do with the protection that's allowed him to find that DPS and those tack visors.
For now, just going to push forward as Rank jumps up onto the high ground, trying to get in onto the top of Panda and almost kills him with a flag, but Hyper is there to go ahead and pick up that kill, stopping the Genji from building up closer.
And there was a biotic grenade in there too, so that was really well coordinated. You could see what they were trying to do, blocking the heals out there, coming in with a deflection in that choke point, just barely shut down. So good idea, but unsuccessful in execution.
It just stops them for the moment. Still plenty of time on the clock. Just want to be able to get that cap coming through a bit faster than Hong Kong did. So alleviates the pressure of that streets phase a bit more. But for now, you can see Romania looking to play this one safely and very measuredly as they poke around, looking for these openings, trying to identify one here as a squad and then go in together. So far has been eluding them as Mesa has to throw down that bubble and leap his way out of there. The heal that I coming through from the biotic grenade just a bit too much of a threat, so he gets himself to safety. In the meantime, off screen, Mue does come up with the kill onto Rank, and ML7 will also die. So Mue, with this Genji, something that wasn't really working out for them yesterday, is really kind of culminating for him. So, you know, doesn't go over to the Sombra on defense, instead goes back to the Genji. And so far, it's a star-studded performance from him. Will help take down Kukubao as well.
You could tell that Romania is definitely trying to target down the supports, especially trying to get rid of Jazzy, and unfortunately it's been unsuccessful. Jazzy's actually built his nano, and this means there's no pressure on Mango. Once again, he's able to find the extra damage. We keep seeing shots of him where he's helping finish off these kills, where no one is touching him, no one's harassing him. Meza can't get in there because they've decided to dive onto the Ana. The Zenyatta's up there helping protect him, and now a support ultimate lead for Hong Kong as well.
Hear that nano boost coming through. Mue does have the Dragon Blade ready to go. Cuts down ML7 to start things off. Almost has Meza. The bubble there to deny a bit. That's like not going to get too much as far as the zapping is going to go, but he still has the shurikens to go ahead and take down the Winston.
And very efficient with this. Really only using the Dragon Blade and the nano.
Yeah.
And now they have so much left to work with. Romania is not completely dry here. They're going to have Semas finally with the sound barrier eventually, but Hong Kong's being so efficient with how they're doing this, shutting them down hard. And I almost wonder if MK should switch off the Soldier, but to what? That's the big question. Rank has switched back to the Diva.
It's going to be the wrap around here through the hotel. Self-destruct coming through the bubble is there to go ahead and eat up the majority of that damage, so no one will die to this. Primal Rage thrown out. MK going to go ahead and pop that tack visor.
No value.
But he has to wrap around. Will find Mango, so does get something right at the end, and now the sound barrier does come down, trying to use this man advantage with the extra shielding to get in onto the point, and getting Hyper is going to be a nice follow-up to that Soldier. So seems like Romania might have finally found this opening to get this cap coming through. Second pick will be obtained, and seems like this should just be the full cap.
Yeah, he was able to get the pick there onto Mango. I said no value, but then Mango stepped out there. They got the
curse.
Yeah, caster curse, right? And then gets the pick onto Mango. That's removes the majority of the DPS away from Hong Kong. Mua didn't have that Dragon Blade. He has it now. And a really similar time bank, actually, realistically, when you look at what Romania was able to do on the defense. So still a reasonable push for them. ML7 getting a ton of damage done there with that right click. But they do have the ult lead now. They held onto that Transcendence. They're going to have the self-destruct. These are tools they can use once they get to the hard part of this streets phase as they approach the checkpoint with the long run back. So I want to hold on to those, build up the sound barrier, and MK could look to have a heroic play on the tack visor again. But here comes
Mue here. The nano blade coming through. Transcendence immediately thrown out here by ML7 and the self-destruct as well. They're trying to zone him back. Mue not going to go down, but Hyper will get caught up in the blast. So a nice pickoff coming through here for Romania, following up now onto Pandarin off screen. But go ahead and snatch that up.
This is actually a pretty good trade for them because they got 2 ults for 1, basically. Mue's been able to build that so consistently today. And this is going to allow a stronger push for Romania, but they use so many resources in order to get just a little bit of distance.
Well, payload's still moving unhindered at the moment with 2 minutes 30 remaining, so it seems like Romania is going to be in a nice spot, and Kukubao cheating very far forward, perhaps threatening with that pulse bomb. If you could find the likes of Jazzy,
so
would be a very prime target, but we see the swap over onto the Sombra.
Yeah, Mua switches to the Sombra because he used the Genji ultimate there to bait out the self-destruct, to bait out the Transcendence, so not going to be available perhaps when he has eventually that EMP.
See the fight coming through here. Yeah, attack visor used by Mango doesn't really get anything. The defense matrix straight up into his face to deny all that damage coming through. And in the meantime, there's no one able to push forward from the side of Hong Kong. So that point B cap does come through for Romania. Now 3.5 minutes to make it to C.
Romania has a lot of ultimates with this too, so it's actually a really nice opportunity to them. They didn't have to use a lot to get that checkpoint. The swap for Mua here, not finding value yet, no big hack plays, and not even halfway to the EMP.
Yeah, should be able to still build that one up rather quickly. In the meantime, we do see that sound barrier coming through from the side of Romania, but it's not before two members have gone down. Kukubao and Meza both falling in the self-destruct, knocking Rank out of the mech. He's just going to jump off to try to reset here with the rest of the squad. So Romania identifying, okay, you know what, we didn't win that fight, but we still have plenty to work with. But investing both of those ultimates is going to be a bit painful.
The scary part is, of course, Transcendence isn't going to be there anymore for the EMP, but the EMP is naturally going to build faster. They still have 3 minutes to push a very short distance.
They at least have the time.
And they saved the attack visor, the Primal Rage, so I think the idea here is to bait out the EMP. Here's the bait.
Oh, throws it down, but doesn't quite find the kill onto ML7. There's no one else there to really follow up onto this one. In the meantime, the rest of the squad is having a bit of trouble as Sima will go down. Rank yet again knocked out of that mech. Meza falling, so the tank line completely dismantled, and Romania is just going to get stomped out. But everybody here is still just holding onto their ultimates, still just keeping those built up so they can have that massive big 6-foot.
Exactly. That's the essentially the idea here for Romania, is to bait out that EMP, use this as kind of like an eco push, that dry push to get the ultimates. Very conservative, holding on to those. The self-destruct is going to be so huge for securing that to actually push it to completion. They're going to want to hold on to that one as long as they can.
But now there's a big disconnect here in the squad. MK just being completely cut off, will get taken out here by Mango, who has that attack visor ticking through. Now under threat from the Winston, will go down as the Primal Rage gets popped out here from Meza, so it seems like they still want to commit in for this, despite the fact that they have several members dead, including ML7. So maybe a bit of an overcommitment here from the side of Romania. Meza still going very far forward, trying to get out of there with his life, but won't be able to do so. Mue does take him down, and now he's going to have another EMP ready to go. So Romania, bit disjointed here on this attack.
Definitely. They didn't use everything, but still, especially the Primal Rage is a bit egregious because now they're not going to have that, which is so important to secure the point. They still have 80 seconds left here. Transcendence is going to be ready, and the self-destruct, but had they held on to those, would have been a better opportunity for them. Now Mua does have that EMP, and they could get shut down in their final push. He's going to want to hold on to that one, not get baited like Romania's been trying to do this entire time. Hold on to it because he might not be able to build it again. Here comes the self-destruct to engage.
Yeah, they're going to throw that one out. Transcendence immediately comes down, but the EMP is still going to be available. In the meantime, MK finding a kill with the attack visor there on a Panda, and Hyper jumping forward, just trying to burn him down, will be able to do so as he builds up for that Primal Rage. Gets ML7 as well, Rank going down, and it seems like Romania going all in onto that one, except for the sound barrier. They threw everything out, and they just get stomped into the ground by Hong Kong, who will hold firm. 40 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, it's not over yet by any means, but now they just don't have the tools they would have liked to have. They don't have that important self-destruct, which is usually the deal sealer on the completion pushes. And, you know, Hong Kong used a lot too, but Bua is going to have the EMP gone. That's one thing they gain. But Hyper, again, these tactics you use to delay the Primal Rage, the self-destruct, these are so important. They don't have them.
All right, well, there's a sound barrier coming through here. Sima still holding that one, onto that one, and Panarin does get taken out. Kukubao comes up with a near 2K, knocks Mix out of that mech, but will be taken down by Mue at the same time. Attack visor available now for Mango. Will pop this one, but the defense matrix is still there. He's looking for a target, but with the leap forward there from Meza, is able to take out that soldier. Now Hong Kong backs up against the walls. They tried desperately to maintain this hold, but it seems so unlikely unless they can get these respawns coming through very swiftly. Mango coming back over, swaps over onto that Tracer to try to buy some time. Transcendence out here from ML7 just sitting in on top of the payload, just trying to push this. We're into overtime. Barely any more space needs to be gained, but the EMP does get dropped in here by Mue, but there's no follow-up coming through from the side of Hong Kong. Instead, it's Romania, the ones that are picking up the kills. Mix, Mue, both going down. Pandarin as well, and that will be the final completion. They get it in overtime. Both of these teams will have a minute.
And this is basically as close as it gets at Kilios here for capture. So the 0.9 second advantage, pretty insignificant there on the side, of course, of Hong Kong. But it was amazing what Romania was able to do with that final push despite not having all those engage tools, and they won actually with that final push after building the self-destruct after the primary. Didn't even need the self-destruct to close it out, so pretty impressive run there. And we knew that Romania was going to show us more than what they showed against China, because it was obviously the team that's now 8-0 in this group stage. Romania got stomped there, but they look very competitive now against this Hong Kong team. And we're basically resetting here with tiny time banks. And I feel like the only thing to really criticize on the side of Romania is just protecting MK better. But otherwise, I feel like they really stepped up their ult usage. Their defense play against Hong Kong, I feel like, was where they showed their biggest strength there on point A. And that's going to be very important now, as this is basically going to be a point A contest with such small time banks, 1 minute apiece.
Yeah, it's going to be a game of who can get the most ticks, if not get that initial cap. And then from there, overtime on a payload. We've seen, over in Apex, we've seen some teams do some crazy stuff with that payload, taking it all the way to point B, if not further than. So maybe that'll happen here today. For now, Romania will be going on the attack. 1 minute ticking down. Looks like we have an issue, so we're likely going to have a pause and have to reset this.
It looks like a disconnect here. One of the players did, it looks like, get DC'd. ML7, in fact, seems to be perhaps the guy. But this is obviously a moment where we're going to, as the Achilles Wolf pause curse continues, have to take a step back to make sure that all settings are correct. And because this is the highest tension, right? This is the moment. This is the end of this first round. It's going to give them momentum. And every point in this group stage in these 4 match sets is so important, because it's not a best of 5, it's not a best of 4 even. Every single map counts. So for both these teams, especially because they're on the lower end, this map is so important.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coming in here, 0 points for the side of Romania. Again, 1 point for Hong Kong. So every map that they could pick up just helps them climb closer to Norway, who's currently sitting in that second place spot for this group. So backs against the wall, and having a pause like this at such a crucial moment can be very upsetting. Very, I won't say the T word, but it can set off your mental a little bit, maybe get you unfocused. But these players, they need to be operating as a unit, keeping everybody's spirits high to make sure that they can, focus in for this final remaining 2 minutes of play that should be on the clock.
Yeah. So just to confirm, it's Kukubao actually who was knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
Looks to be a connection problem, but we're getting him back in. In fact, looks like we might already have him back into the lobby. We'll see if the game is completely remade or not. The attack had just started, so really not even much even actually occurring in the beginning stage of this. So if we can get him back in at the exact moment, that would be preferred. But if we have to have a reset, that is fine. But it comes down to this. The attack is on, and building as much meter as you can for this is going to be the critical part. And for the attack here, it was Romania on the attack, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's right. So they're looking to just get as much percentage as they can because they were so much better on the defense than we saw from Hong Kong. So looks like the game is ready as we get them back into the game. We're going to go right back to exactly where we were. Remember, Romania on the attack. Kukubao was on that tracer, and he's back inside.
All right, yeah, seems like we got everything taken care of. So nice little switch fix. Yes, they will be pushing forward. Rank yet again, trying to jump up over onto this high ground, but has that big heal deny coming through, and the deflect will not save him from Hyper. Zaps him to death. Gets rid of that Genji, will be delaying. Something like a Dragon Blade that can really turn a major fight around in such a short amount of time. Mango now will be left on, will be cut down, but it's still Hong Kong very much coming out on top of the exchanges. Meza and ML7 have both fallen, and now it's just 12 seconds remaining on the clock for Romania. Did not get that first tick. Desperately are going to have it if they want to hold out and take this map away from Hong Kong.
They failed to get those support kills they wanted. MK's here in the pilot diva form. Hong Kong playing back here. They want to catch the dodgeball, so to speak, here of Romania as they attack in. Trying to find the angler. Jazzy nearly with the nano boost. He's so close.
Yeah, almost has this one ready to go as they try to get that first tick coming through, ticking up very close, and they will be able to get it. You can see
nice huge pick here on the Jazzy.
Not going to be there, but yes, Seema does find that kill. The Transcendence now coming through here from the side of Pandaren as they try to posture forward in onto the point, but Kukubao has gotten rid of Mix. Hyper going in, gets rid of Rank. Meza cut down, Hyper going down, as well as the tanks are just being shattered across the board. Tacfights are out here from Mango, firing away. Almost does kill MK right at the end, and they will stop that one out.
so important they are able to take this, considering their cap was overtime there on the attack. So that's actually so huge. They're able to get some ticks here. Well, nearly the second tick. They're 64.8, very close to that second tick. You can consider it that basically here. So we're going to jump into Hong Kong's attack now, and it looked like the attack for Romania totally backfired when once again they dove for the supports there using the biotic grenade, but they turned it around, able to get the pick onto Jazzy. Jazzy was the only member on Hong Kong that actually had the massive ult advantage. He could have used a nano boost there to delay so much more time, so getting that pick, very well done by Sima.
Nicely done, and a great tag advisory get again here for Mango has been the linchpin for the most part. You'd have to say he and Mue today have been absolutely destroying for the side of Hong Kong in this first map, but now the second tick gonna have to be gained by these guys. 1 minute on the clock. We'll see what they're gonna be running with. Mue just gonna be using that Hanzo for the Sonic Arrow, try to spot out where Romania's posturing around on their defense. We'll see if he wants to swap over to the Soldier himself, or perhaps we will see the Tracer. See, Mango will be moving off the Genji, so maybe Mue says, you know what, I've been doing the Genji really well so far, let me have it.
Yeah, I think that's likely what we'll be seeing from him. I don't think we'll see the Sombra either, but this is still going to be just 1 minute to get essentially 2 ticks here for Hong Kong, so picks are going to be important. ML7 in the same position as Jazzy up here on the high ground, and it will be Mue on the Tracer, so not going to be running the Genji at all, just going to look for the back picks with the Tracer harass.
Moving over up onto this right side high ground here is Mango, trying to poke out where he can, but all of Romania kiting back inside and around the buildings to keep themselves safe. Mue, Kubao going with a bit of a bout here around the hotel, will be forced out on that recall to get himself top back up. Gonna build up for these pulse bombs and just shatter the ranks of Romania for now. Ticking up here onto the point will be that first tick just about coming through. They're now gonna be exceeding that one, and rank gets knocked out of the back.
That's huge.
Big opening here so far for Hong Kong, and Kubao dashing around doing his damage to try to trade this one back, but so far hasn't really been able to find a whole lot of anything, and he's still not catching up with the pulse bomb as quickly as Mue finds his, throws it out, but doesn't have a target, doesn't get a stick, so no kills coming through onto this
one.
one.
Gets his mech back.
He does make it back in, now diving in onto the point. Nano boost here for Meza, leaping in, looking for a couple kills, just zapping away Panda in a mix. Both going down, Meza going huge now. Primal Rage thrown out, they nearly have it. It's just 0.3 remaining for the side of Hong Kong as the overtime starts ticking down. Mue doing his best to try to delay it, will not be able to do so. Can they tag in onto the point? The answer is no, and just such a minute difference comes through.
0.3% difference, and I think a big factor here, and I was watching it the whole time, as one of the big wins for Hong Kong with that attack was knocking Rank out of the Diva mech. He survived in pilot mode and was able to remech, something that we could not see on the side, of course, of Hong Kong with their defense. So he got the Diva mech back, helped shut down Mango's ult. I mean, this will be Mez's play of the game for sure.
This has to be that final play right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nano boost coming through. I mean, they're just contained into a corner for him, so he can just constantly zap them. There's no chance of escape. And Primal Rage for good measure as well, just to keep everybody off that point. 0.3, the only difference coming through. I mean, we were talking about how close this series could be. These guys, yeah, really well measured play for the most part from both of these squads going up against each other, but still is very tight-knit and control a whole other beast of an animal as far as the approach is going to go. And we can see Mue probably going to be starting things off here with the Sombra. Yeah, is going to be charging forward for the side of Hong Kong over on the blue. And Jazzy there with that Lucio and the Zenyatta.
Okay, so sticking with the Zenyatta, he was so successful on. Mue on the Sombra that has really shut down all of these plays, especially against Norway.
And that's going to be the big difference here, because Kukubao's still going to be rocking that Tracer, so Mue, the only kind of differentiating factor here for the side of Hong Kong as far as the compositions are concerned. Going forward, jumps away at the translocator, just building up for that EMP as swiftly as possible, up to be at about 65%, so he's doing a pretty good job so far.
Notice he's playing mostly defensively, just rolling with the Discord orbs again, coming out from Jazzy, just building up as much percentage as possible. He gets the basically a double here, knocks Rank out of the mech, and he's just going to hold on to this EMP. He's waiting for the dive-in for Romania because they had the better positioning there. And just like we saw Eileen from China earlier today, you play the defensive Sombra, you wait for the dive-in, you look for the hacks, and you just add extra damage with those Discord orbs, and that's what we saw there.
Yep. And because of this kind of tight choke area that we have, that Romania has to push through the EMP, going to be that much more valuable. Tries to get the kill here on the ML7. Hyper there to pick it up off the backside, and everybody from Romania is just trying to hightail it out of there, but most of them are not going to be so lucky. 4 members dead, just Rank and Sema, the only ones that were able to limp their way out of there with their lives. So for now, Hong Kong will hold.
They have the big 6 available here in just a moment. That's going to be the scary part, right? They're definitely building up towards that, but Hong Kong didn't really use anything there, just the EMP. So they're also going to have, similar ultimates available. Looks like we're going to see the Sound Barrier 4 engage.
Yeah, Romania trying to push into this one. The Transcendence will be available if they want to chain straight into that one as the attack visor. Let's get dropped down here by Mango. Hong Kong going to answer with their own Sound Barrier now as they start pushing forward, looking for these picks, and Emka's going to be the first one that goes down as Mix finds that kill and go back in onto the point. You can see Romania just having to cut back towards the spawn into that corridor. They're not able to push in onto the point, and that's really costing them. They're not gaining anything.
Yeah, even though Mango's tack visor was bad, it was because there was no one near him because they couldn't get into position. Now they're trying to kite back and retreat, and he's just basically shooting fish in a barrel over here. Never pressured, never under attack, because the defensive setups here for Hong Kong better. They have the first point, so that gives them that advantage. And now they're going to have another EMP here. Romania used almost all they had in their war chest for that last push, so gonna take a pretty big push here. Some perhaps even blind luck for Romania to take this one.
Well, Rank going very far forward, but has to respect that Winston, so we'll be cutting back, and Meza is just gonna get cut down very swiftly as Mix finds that kill. Hyper trying to jump his way over to get that health pack. Doesn't quite make it though, but will still be getting healed up very steadily here from the side of Pandora. So it was away back over to that high ground, and now we're into overtime as Romania desperately tries to get in here to actually get a flip over on the control center. Has been eluding them so far, and Sema and ML7 have both fallen, so it seems like it might not happen at all for them. Kukobao now going down the leap in here from Meza, just trying to delay as best as he can. Will be finished off, and that should be it as the overtime meter starts plummeting. And Hong Kong will go ahead 100% to 0 on Control Center.
Feels like yesterday, Mua back onto the Sombra, the defensive setups here. And even though Mua had some amazing EMPs, including that 5 or 6 man right out of the spawn, they didn't need ultimates to win the fights. But I have to give my MVP to Jazzy. Never dying, always positioned correctly. No one was able to threaten him, and he had so many transcendences, but more than a transcendence, there was always a Discord Orb on Meza when he dove in. And when you watch these team fights, you just see the Discord Orb is flying one target to the next because he never gets picked off, he's never pressured, and he's just got a clear line to Discord whoever's up in the front. So this defensive setup, take the point first, use the Sombra, working very well for Hong Kong. However, Mui looks to be switching onto the Tracer this time. So taking a different approach now.
Yeah, neither of these teams really going to be looking for that pharmacy style of play, so we'll be sticking to the ground combat right there in the nitty-gritty. Both of them just going to go ahead and clash here outside of the point. Have to wait for that one to unlock in 15 seconds, but for now on the backside, ML7 in a spot of bother, but a nice defense matrix comes through to delay a little bit longer. Mue doesn't find the kill, but Mango with those Helix rockets does take him down in the end. So a nice effort from the side of Rank in particular to try to keep him safe, but it does not work out. And now he's going to be popped out of the map, just leaps off the map once that reset. But we will have that initial cap coming through for Hong Kong.
The Discord Orbs again, really well placed, and Romania kind of went all in there despite getting picked early, but that's what you have to do when you get into that bridge fight. You don't really have much choice. You can't just back off and give the point away. You want to at least try to turn it, but we do see Rank is going to be switching over to the Genji now. Mango's already got that attack visor available. Transcendence on its way.
Bold move here, trying to swap over for that triple DPS with just Meza on the tank, and I mean, he's been going down pretty consistently. He's gonna go in down, that's gonna be the attack visor coming through, just find the kill in onto ML7. But it will be answered as Emka just takes down that enemy soldier, but the rest of his squad just dying around him. Kukobao gonna be the only one left alive at the end of the day.
A bold move to try to contest that bridge without a diva against what you knew the soldier has the attack visor. They just walked into yet again another choke point with no pressure onto Mango. He just pops attack visor, shoots her, but he died sure to Emka because he got the headshots, but the damage was already done.
I mean, that and everybody was just focused in onto that soldier, so the rest of the squad was able to go forward, just dismantle Romania. Mue going in, doesn't quite have the stick there for the pulse bomb, so won't be coming up with a kill for himself, but Emka and ML7 have both gone down. So yet again, Romania just desperately trying to cross this bridge, are unable to do so.
Just watch the Discord orbs flying around here too. Whoever Mua is shooting at gets a Discord orb attached right away. And he was good on the Sombra, not as flashy on the Tracer perhaps, but on this map they just have Romania contained. They're gonna have a lot of ults to try to burst through. Didn't work out for them last time. They're gonna use the Sound Barrier to engage. Here comes Mua from behind.
Yeah, Emka using that attack visor as well, firing away, but the Transcendence is there to go ahead and chew up the majority of that damage, so he has to kite back. And he finds Mue, dashes straight into the Helix rockets, he goes down. Meanwhile, Kukobao jumping off the map perhaps, does fall as the rest of Romania is trying to pour forward. They do not want to get 100-0 yet again. They will finally find themselves in onto the point, trying to stay alive, but several members going low, and the Primal Rage there from Hyper is able to just take out both of those support members. And Romania, they finally made it this far. They touched the point for pretty much the first time, but they still all die, and that should just be the end of it.
That's going to be the map, so we are tied up now, 1-1. I mean, we saw basically trying to force things there was the strat on the side of Romania, going down the bridge there into the choke point where Mango had that attack visor. Hyper is going to be the Winston who takes play of the game this time.
Like it's a nice smack off there onto ML7, getting rid of that Zenyatta. So nicely done by him, and then from here, throws down a bubble and just zaps everybody to death.
So, essentially there too, I think you really have to give credit to the sensors.
I suppose there's stranger things going on in this game than being able to breathe in space without a suit. But for now, we will have the attack coming through from Hong Kong. Going to be starting things off here on the assault, wrapping their way around the right side on the low ground.
So no shock, we're going to have Mue on the Sombra here, a staple for this map. And it's going to be Mango on the Reaper. And luckily for Romania, I think this is the right choice to put rank back onto the Diva and try to shut Mango down. Not going to be necessarily as effective against the Reaper, but we'll give a lot more space to work with for Kukubao, specifically, when he wants to dive in.
I mean, he can chew up a lot of that damage with the defense matrix when that Death Blossom does come through inevitably. So, still has a nice function here for the squad. You can see rank poking forward, just trying to deny as the rest of Romania starts dropping in, but already that first tick about to be obtained here from Hong Kong. Do have it coming through, get that credit. MK wrapping around the backside, looking for an angle. Can't quite find much here. Now firing away straight down the line, but there's a Diva blocking him out. He's gonna get booped, runs in onto the point, but he's just surrounded by all the members of Hong Kong, so he'll go down. That's the team kill here, and a very swift cap will be coming through, much like we saw from Norway in their set earlier versus China.
Jazzy with the Discord Orbs again. Mango does so much damage, and every single soldier first-person view seen from MK and Mango, the difference is massive. MK shuts down immediately because the tanks were blown up by the Reaper there in that narrow choke point because of the Discord Orbs, and then suddenly there's no protection for MK because his frontliners, his tanks are already gone.
Well, EMP gets dropped in, and Mango wraps on the backside, trying to build up for that Death Blossom. Almost has it, but at the same time, doesn't really need it at the moment. They go ahead and contain all of Romania back towards that spawn. Attack visor will be coming through here from MK, but Mix goes forward, has that defense matrix ready to go. He's not really going to be getting anything forward. A couple kills have come out, but not really by the way of MK. Does find Jazzy right at the end there. The Hong Kong stopped off, but not really by use of that attack visor, so maybe didn't have to invest that one, but either way, a nice hold coming through here for the side of Romania.
It was really the only one they used, so they still have an ult lead right now, but Hong Kong has a massive push, and they have 6 minutes, so I think they're going to dump basically everything into this. Mue did switch over to the Genji, but they could try to make something happen with this Death Blossom, with the self-destruct. That could be one way to get in and find that angle. But they don't have anything but the sound barrier to protect the Reaper. They're not going to have Transcendence, so we'll see if they want to commit all 6. They have time if they want to do that.
Oh, a Pulse Bomb coming through from Kukubao does force out that Primal Rage from Hyper as he tries desperately to stay alive, but still getting chipped away at, will fall off screen. Mango forward, has that sound barrier thrown down on top of him, but still has not gone through with the Death Blossom. Will throw it out now, but the defense matrix is there, and he's going to be targeted out. Makes it into the Wraith form, but has to just kite back with the rest of his team as they do get chunked out. They lose several members, and Hong Kong, we were praising them before for their ultimate usage, especially on the side of King's Row, spacing things out, not dumping them all in at the same time. They do the polar opposite here on point B.
And you would have thought maybe they might have switched after dumping a lot into this last push, but this allowed, I guess you could kind of call it an eco push. They didn't use everything because this allows Jazzy now to have the Transcendence for perhaps Mue to pair with the Dragon Blade. He was nowhere near the Dragon Blade for the last push, and they want to bait a lot of ultimates out with this next one here to see if they can be efficient. Already the Mue is down before he can even pop that Dragon Blade.
Yeah, nice little pick off there coming through from Kukubao, just wrapping his way in there, and Jazzy's going to go down as well. So Hong Kong yet again going to get stopped out. But I mean, these are the eco pushes coming through from them. They need Hyper to build up for yet another Primal Rage. They need Mango to get that Death Blossom available. Pandora naturally will be having that sound barrier coming through.
My biggest concern is that they are not running the Zenyatta, so the Dragon Blade can do a lot here when the sound barrier is not available. If Hong Kong is able to identify there's no sound barrier for Sima, the Dragon Blade is going to be so effective in those cases. Sure, the self-destruct can be useful, but Genji has so much mobility to avoid that, come back in and slash, even perhaps kill Pilot Diva, so that's a huge opportunity here. They're going to have both support ultimates from Mue this time, and that's the scary factor for this push. 4 minutes on the clock. And all eyes on the Dragon Blade.
Yeah, still don't want to wait for that Death Blossom to come through. So yeah, Mango does go over to that Tracer, and he's just going to go down right off the bat. Kukubao coming up with yet another kill. Now has that Pulse Bomb ready to go. Tries to throw it out, tries to get the stick in onto Mix. Doesn't find a kill, but the rest of the side of Hong Kong are still suffering losses. Self-destruct will find Panda, and Mue has fallen, and seems like Hong Kong yet again going to be staved off. Can't get that first tick here on point B, and the clock is just draining very steadily. Already 3 minutes have been burned.
Now, surprising, Mango switches to the Tracer instead of the Sombra, but obviously they are on attack, so don't get as much value from the health packs. It takes longer to build up the EMP, but I feel like Romania is doing a great job of targeting down Mue every time. We haven't seen that Dragon Blade come out. Here it is now, though, with the sound barrier. Transcendence is available.
Yeah, it's there to mitigate, and Meza now going to be the recipient of this Nano Boost, just zapping away, but the Primal Rage is there from the side of Hyper, just trying to keep him contained into the corner. Will leap his way up, but the Transcendence comes down from Jazzy as they try to posture in. Self-destruct will be thrown out by Mix, looking for a pick, but the barrier's there to go ahead and eat up all of that damage coming through. And for now, it's just going to be an all-out brawl here onto the point, but still going to be trading back on both sides. Discord Orb in onto Seema, but he manages to stay alive. Mango can't quite come up with the kill, but there we go. Mue able to pick up the pieces, and that's 2 ticks coming down now for Hong Kong. Looking for the final cap. Meza pushing his way back through. Has to contest this. Sleeps and dies immediately. They almost have it. Just 2% about ready to go. Emka using the attack visor will get left on. Immediately goes down. And it seems like Hong Kong in this war of attrition should be coming out on top. Pulse Bomb finds the stick. ML7 will go down, and that will be it. The dash off the point, the last second from Kukubao can't stay in there, and they will suffer that loss.
So the big difference there is the supports. So you have Ana, and when you talk about what the double support ultimates were able to grant there for the Dragon Blade, it feels like it was way more effective than what we saw when the Nano Boost came out for the Winston. Didn't buy as much time, and when there's a sound barrier down, gives the more protection there for Jazzy to actually consistently drop down the Discord Orb. So when the Primal Rage Nano Boost was there, Winston was still able to be focused down. The Dragon Blade picked off immediately Emka, so no big DPS coming out, and it was longer sustain coming out from the ultimates from having the Transcendence over the Nano Boost that allowed them to win out the longer fight there. And they were patient. They waited finally for the synergy with those double support ultimates. We wait with the switch onto the Genji, and he make it.